you would think, okay, so if I animate the limbs properly, then all the rest should fall into place, right? And wrong. From what I did, I thought that what generated the most impact, what sold it the most, was the secondary movements. So you see the body stretching and the body compressing, the head going forward and backward, depending on where they are in the running animation. For walking, how much should they have 1 pixel up, 1 pixel down? I thought that without these details, the movement gets really stale and it gets really robotic as well. That was surprising actually, even though I have already worked on a human walking, running and jumping. This video is not going to be a guide, it's just going to be me going over what I learned, and hopefully I'm going to help you with that as well. What I worked on was a wolf walking, a wolf running, a lizard walking, and a lizard running. I chose them because they're fundamentally different in their biomechanics. They don't function the same. For this one, I'm going to focus only on the blockout because I believe that for animating, that's the most important part of the process to make the movement believable, the creature believable. I need to understand blockout better than anything else. Okay, so a wolf needs to maintain balance when walking because it's when they're going slow, they probably do need to move one leg at a time. Otherwise, balancing would be a bit difficult. But since I was not sure, I had to go around and look for a bit of reference. Now for the running animation, that was a bit more simple. In order to run, you need to generate power back. So the forces are going to be on the rear leg. And if the force is going to be on the rear leg, that means that the balance and the control will have to come from the front leg. Now for the lizard, the movement is a bit different. The movement of a lizard works from their spine. It doesn't get that much of an impulse from the legs. It's more of a spine curling and bringing their limbs closer and apart from each other, but that's generated by the spine. And the interesting part about the lizard is the actual running, because the running, I didn't know exactly how it would look. I do remember that there are some lizards that just do the same movement but faster. There are some lizards that actually move differently when running. So for instance, the crocodile, they gallop. They look really weird doing that. First time I saw it, I thought, okay, this can't be real. And in fact it is. So they can gallop, they can run the same way as they walk, but doing it a bit faster. So some smaller lizards do that. And on those cases, and for most lizards, the impulse comes from the rear leg, which in that case is a bit similar to how dogs, cats, and wolves do that. And what I did find the harder part was how mind-boggling it is to keep in your head the contact points, at least for the lizard, because since they move from the spine, there is gonna be 2 opposite legs that are gonna be in contact with the floor. And you know, how do you animate them? They're in contact points, but it kind of feels like you have to animate them going in opposite directions. It's super weird. Keeping it grounded as well was pretty difficult, because that's a big part of selling the movement when it comes to walking and running, because if you don't pay attention to the contact points, it kind of feels like your creature, your animal is gliding, and you don't really want that. So what am I focusing next? Different set of animals, learning about animals flying and how to sell that they are in the air. But if you have an idea, even if you're seeing this video late, if you have an idea like, hey, you should take a look at that, that's interesting. Maybe when you did it you find interesting, or maybe you just find interesting in general, let me know and I'll check it out. And that's it for this video. See you on the next one. Bye bye.